So our next speaker is Francesca Bindelli of the University of Bologna, and her title is Preliminary Study of the Tappatino area of Suasa through the Extended Matrix Framework, from Harris Matrix to Virtual Reconstruction.
Good afternoon. Thank you to Marco for the opportunity to present my work today. I'm going to talk about a reconstruction study of the rustic farmhouse area known as Tappatino of the Roman city of Suasa using the extended matrix framework. As we have seen before with Giuseppe Guarino, Suasa is situated in the hinterland of Senigallia on a second-order alluvial terrace on the right of the Cesano River. This center was founded during the extensive colonization of the Ager Gallicus that immediately preceded the Battle of Sentinum. The city was originally founded as a prefectura, later becoming a municipium in the second half of the 1st century BC, and gradually declining until the end of the 3rd century AD. Before exploring the world of archaeological reconstruction, it is important to recognize that any elaborate model will only ever be a simulation of the ancient context. The ultimate goal of a reconstruction study is not to produce a definitive model, but rather to make the entire process transparent, legible, and replicable. The archaeological approach to 3D involves two categories of 3D model, reality-based and source-based model. The first is a quantitative process used to document, interpret, and visualize existing archaeological context. The second is more closely related to computer graphics and is a non-synoptic and non-synchronic representation. It is useful for documenting, interpreting, and visualizing a lot of archaeological context. The source-based model combines different sources and documentation, regardless of the granularity of the archaeological data or the discrepancy between the collected documentation and the visual representation of the proposed reconstruction. This mechanism can create misleading models that reinforce the idea of reconstruction as a purely aesthetic endeavor rather than an analytical and accurate study. The area of the Tappatino is complex, which has prevented an extensive investigation of the archaeological context and made it difficult to interpret the evidence currently found. The study of the area was divided into 3 phases. The first phase focused on the analysis of the rural buildings that make up Tappatino through the study of the structure and the stratigraphy of their masonry in the central unit. The second phase involved the study of data from archaeological research campaign carried out in the area as part of the Suasa project in 1996 and between 2018 and 2022. The first phase consists in the post-processing of the topographic survey data obtained during the research campaign. The results contribute to the reconstructive study of the context from the Roman period to the present day. The extended matrix method was chosen to carry out the reconstructive study of this area, considering the problems of developing models based on the sources and the stratigraphy study carried out on the Tappatino masonry. The extended matrix is a formal language developed by Emanuele Dimitrescu, a researcher at the CNR-ESTC in Rome, with which to keep track of virtual reconstruction processes. This language organizes data along a timeline and incorporates the granularity of the graphical report into the reconstruction process. By organizing the 3D archaeological report, it offers both more fluid, transparent, and scientifically complete modeling steps, and a standardized workflow with visual tools from data analysis, visualization, and publication. EM tools overcome the limitation of compatibility with the graph databases and making them the container for all information. The extended metrics allow the reporting of sources used and the set of analytical process carried out to achieve the virtual reconstruction of an archaeological context. The focus is no longer on the 3D models, but on all the possible models that results from the data and reasoning. This methodology updated the stratigraphic basis of archaeology by creating a new stratigraphic unit, the virtual stratigraphic unit. Similar to analysis metrics, extended metrics is not a representation of a physical chain of events, but rather a non-redundant chronological sequences. The extended metrics graph is constructed from the bottom up, with each element connected by solid lines to show stratigraphic relationship and dashed line to indicate the sources used to validate the properties of the virtual stratigraphic units. The graph is divided into structural and non-structural virtual stratigraphic units. The structural ones are based on the stratigraphic units found in situ and are indicated in blue, while the non-structural ones are hypothetically reconstruction based on sources and are colored in green. Also included in the reconstructive workflow are special finds, which are objects found in secondary deposits. Once a special find has been placed in the extended metrics graph, a virtual special find can be created to integrate it. Virtual special finds have a higher degree of certainty than non-structural virtual stratigraphic unit, but a lower degree of certainty than structural virtual stratigraphic unit. The reconstruction of the Tappatino area began with the collection of information from different sources, such as excavation data, geophysical services, bibliographical and archival sources, and comparison with the other context. This information was used to create the dossier comparative and to develop the preliminary holotypes. The 3D model was the result of the comprehensive processes. The dataset was organized within the extended metrics graph to model the different life phases of the site. The extended metrics approach was applied to the multi-stratified context of Tappatino, allowing the entire reconstruction process to be bound and the information to be organized within a single interconnecting environment. Furthermore, the direct link between the 3D environment and the extended metric graph facilitated the manipulation of geometry with digital tools and the sharing of both the 3D models and the stratigraphic and reconstructive information. The combination of extended metrics with digital tools on 3D representation of virtual reconstruction and visual inspection of extended matrices is known as extended metrics framework. The present appearance of the Tappatino farmhouse is quite complex. Through the examination of the archival materials, particularly the site's land register, it was possible to assign a chronological period to the building's units. The original core of the structure consists of a cube-shaped three-story main building's unit, which was later joined by a similar dome attached to the former on the west side. The ground floor wall volumes contain the cellar, which is characterized by an internal level that is about 1 meter lower than the external one. There are some Roman structures here, which are easily distinguished by their construction technique in opposite carbon stone. Unit A and B form the main core of the current farmhouse. On the east side of the original unit, there is an entrance portico with 3 arches. The portico on the second floor has 3 openings corresponding to the lower arch. The loggia is accessed by a side staircase connected to both the southern volume and the main buildings. A 2-story volume lens against the same facade. The portico and the volume attached to the eastern facade were built after the 16th century, but before 1835. To the west of the unit B, there is a 2-story volume, while to the south of the main core, there is a single-story unit. In the Gregorian land register, the southern units as projecting room to the west, which is no longer visible, having been removed during the construction of the western unit. This unit can be dated between the second half of the 19th centuries and the first half of the 20th centuries. Two small units leaning against the northern facade of the main core were added after the mind of the 20th century. Floor plans and photographs sent to the superintendents by then owner in 1977 show their presence. Today, only the floors of this room are preserved. A stratigraphic analysis of the masonry was carried out on the external facade of the main unit. A total of 1970 stratigraphic units were identified based on these discontinuities in the physical structural feature present in the different masonries analyzed. Orthopod obtained a drawn photogrammetric survey were used as a graphical basis, and the different stratigraphic relationships were noted using predeterminate symbology. This process establishes stratigraphic edotypes of the four external elevations of the unit. In addition, a preliminary absolute chronological sequences was proposed, divided into 5 construction phases and illustrated by chronological graph and stratigraphic space edotypes. Before starting the reconstruction process, all the photogrammetrics and laser scanner services carried out during the research campaign was processed and georeferenced. The photogrammetric models of the area were optimized using the 3D survey collection of them to improve their visualization. That then used to perform a semantic interpretation of the archaeological context according to the principle of the extended metrics approach, and finally used as basis for organizing and developing the entire reconstruction proposal. Data collection was aimed at advancing the reconstruction project after setting up the virtual terrain. At archaeological data, including information on stratigraphic units, analysis metrics, drawings, and images, were extracted from experimental records. Extensive literature research was also used for gathering comparison and ancient structural standards. All this information was gradually incorporated into the extended metrics graph within the GED graphics editor. The photogrammetric mesh was subject to semantic analysis, which involves modeling all proxy geometries in Blender relating to the identified stratigraphic unit. This phase allowed the visualization of archaeological remains in the area through a red-colored mesh. The second phase of the reconstruction process involved adding virtual structural stratigraphic unit in blue and non-structural unit in green. The proxy model acts as a link between Blender and GED, communicating via the MM Tools add-on for local representation of data and via the web application Ambit for online representation. For this reason, the proxies did not require a high quality of modeling detail, as they are only a means of visually representing reconstruction dataset. It is the representation model that contains the texture information, but in the Tappatino case study, only proxies have been created until now. The study of Tappatino identifies 7 chronological phases based on the average metrics of buildings and excavation area. For 6 of these phases, a virtual reconstruction was proposed. These 6 phases, visualized in this slide with color palettes according to the chronology, are the Roman Imperial Age, the Medieval Age, the Renaissance Age, the 16th-19th centuries, the 19th-20th centuries, and finally the second half of the 20th centuries. At present, only the Roman Republican Age has not been reconstructed due to a lack of data. Finally, the digital reconstruction project for the Tappatino area represents a significant step forward in the study and communication of the site construction history. Using an approach is been possible to analyze the archaeological structure discovered and provide the necessary tools for for creating a complete reconstruction. This method has made it possible to give equal importance of all stages of the reconstruction process and to offer a new way to interact with the reconstruction, both from a resource and a user point of view. As the file work progress, this study will confirm or refine the proxy model and develop the representation model for each of the discovered fields. Thank you.